Alright, here we are, match 2. Lost the die roll. So, opponent making the difficult decision whether or not to play first. This hand seems keepable, if slightly heavy on lands. Got Pyromancer, got Lingering Souls. It's not very good against combo. Oh dear. But it seems okay. The fact that we are so likely to fetch an untapped land and burst lightning makes me want to just play Blackleaf Cliffs, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to play Wooded Foothills. And pass. Because if our opponent does just, say, play like a Serum Vision, if they had any of those in their hand... Okay, yeah, so we've got an Opt. This is almost certainly Storm. And his hand seems pretty poor against Storm. This is not the clock I want against Storm. Oh, whoa, 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 what's going on? Okay, opponent not on Storm. Not going to trick bind this either. Let's get a Sacred Foundry. Are there any Force Spikes in Modern? I don't think there are any Force Spikes in Modern, right? Like, not just being crazy. Play a Pyromancer. Okay, opponent opts again. This card is so while I'm kind of happy it's not Storm, I'm also kind of scared. This card is probably going to crush us. This might be Jeskai or Grixis, although 2 basic islands is pretty interesting. Tech Edge. Blue-white? Can be blue-white. I'm struggling to believe that it's mono-blue, basically, is my thought process here. I could play a second Pyromancer and a Faithless Looting. It's kind of interesting to me, especially because I'm not that interested in Terminate right now. And it gives me the same amount of tokens as Lingering Souls. But it also commits to the board more. And is worse against counterspells, so I'm probably going to just play Lingering Souls. Opponent snap opts. Okay. So now I'm going to Burst Lightning this. I'm kind of punished for not playing a different... Am I going to Burst Lightning this? Actually, I don't think I mind if they deal with my Young Pyromancer. I think this is like a reasonable trade. I guess having a 1-drop left over is good, and like, it's so hard to make this or this into cards against these guys, but... I think I got the second one. Looks like I can just cast Lingering Souls now. We are in this awkward spot actually. I probably shouldn't have fetched a mountain there. I don't think life total is going to be the biggest issue. Let's just always yield to this. 2 turns until Ancestor Vision comes off. I don't think life total is going to be the biggest issue. Yeah, there we go, blue-white. That makes sense. And he can activate his Tech Edge and take us off a colour now. This card's pretty interesting though. I guess if we play Marsh Flats, he can't. Terminate can kill Gideon Jura, right? Yeah, he doesn't become indestructible, he just prevents all damage dealt to him. What a weirdo, that Gideon Jura. opponent probably is sitting on like a... Probably has some number of Path to Exiles in hand. Probably has a Cryptic. Could be sitting on a Cryptic. Spreading Seas would be pretty bad for us. Because you can then like Spreading Seas our cliffs, blow up our foundry. That seems bad. I kind of am unhappy spending cards. I guess this one like I can bring back. Like I can flash it back with the Faithful Suiting. If I want to play Pyromancer. Dreadbore seems better than Terminate by quite a long way, and I think the fourth land, while it's sort of useful, I'm not as excited about it. Then again, I mean I can fetch black with this and not really mind. And Burst Lightning seems pretty medium. Yeah, okay. Feels weird to keep a land. This is worse against the Cryptic, but I think that's okay. So I target non-basic land, okay. Yeah. Let's go to Swamp. Okay, opponent probably doesn't have Cryptic. If he does, I think he would have counter. I guess he could tap draw. Okay. He can also Supreme Verdict just now. But he appears to be having trouble with his mana base. Can't actually fetch white. But I don't think white matters that much. Flashback our Faithless Looting. This card's good, I think. Let's just discard the two fetch lands. I don't think they're particularly useful. Let's Inquisition our opponent. Get an idea of what's happening here. Okay, he's going to Mana Leak the Inquisition. That's okay. So there's an argument for holding this, but I also think that I just want to make it really hard for him to mess us up on mana. And we are going to be playing the Pyromancer anytime soon. So he's going to draw a bunch of cards now, so in fact he's still at 13 when he's drawing all these cards. It's pretty hard for us. Yeah, we're going to get verdicted. So now we're playing the Young Pyromancer. I don't really want to commit any further. Don't really have anything to follow it up with though, so we're probably going to hold this Swift Spear. Game 1 seems quite hard against blue-white. Basically it seems like it's dependent on how many Thoughtseize effects you draw. This seems bad for us. This is not a good draw. Guess I'll swing. Maybe we overcommitted. Actually, I think it was just a mistake to not let the Pyromancer die. I think that letting him... Like, it's not actually bad from a resource trading standpoint. Even though obviously he gets to draw a card and kill my Pyromancer. It's like bad tempo. But I think because we didn't have a hand that ended the game fast, and Pyromancer was our only real way of doing that efficiently. One, two, three. 3. Oh man. Make it 4. 2, 3, 4, 5. This guy actually costs 5 mana right now. We can play both of these. Can we play out everything actually? Obviously that's bad against a Supreme Verdict, but so it's life, so. I don't think we can play out everything. It now costs 4. Oh well, mess this up. Mess up the sequencing here. But I think this is still fine. He can't activate the colonnade. So he can't just eat something. I think he's reasonably interested in Supreme Verdict in this board, and then I can Bedlam Mardu. He's got so many cards. Unless I think it's just gonna ruin us. It's just so hard to beat them in that sort of way. Blood Moon doesn't seem that good against them, so... First thing is just going to put more cards in our graveyard, which does reduce the cost of Bedlam Reveler. But also just like mills. I don't think there's any relevance to this. 2, 3, 4. Here's a Mana Lake, we're in pretty bad trouble. Oh no. Or Cryptic. Cryptic would be so bad. Okay. Yeah, the fact that the fact that we weren't aggressive enough. So basically that decision with the Young Pyromancer, I think, was the big thing here. Okay, now he can take us off white if he wants. Fogwall's pretty bad, so let's just cast a Fatal Suiting. Discard these 2 bad cards. Flashback. Fatal Suiting. Discard this bad card. And this bad card. I think Position Cossack isn't bad, but I think most of the cards he's going to play aren't actually relevant at this stage. Like, if they cost less than 1. Okay, so red for 6 seems totally unbeatable from our deck. Our opponent has 12 cards in hand. 11, sorry. I'm not going to play any of them, so that implies he still has an incredibly reactive hand. I'm going to go ahead and assume this is not going to resolve. It did. We are in a pretty atrocious position where flashing back Lingering Souls means we lose to Supreme Verdict, and not flashing back means we lose to, like, him just having a reasonable hand. But I think I'm just going to swing. Especially because we have this Lightning Bolt, I'm much more interested in swinging and then maybe killing the Celestial Colonnade that he blocks with. Because if he puts a bunch of mana into that, we're a bit more interested. Yeah, okay, so he wakes up Colonnade. Man, Colonnade makes this whole matchup super weird from a lot of decks' sides. When I was playing Shadow, I felt like I always lost to the Colonnades. Like, that was always the way I died. So I wasn't sure, like, am I meant to cut all my Fatal Pushes? But then I just always died to Colonnade. Or am I meant to cut some of my Fatal Pushes? I'm not interested in putting too many resources into the board right now. Snap Path? Snap Opt. That makes sense to me. I'm just I guess he probably has other Snap custom mages. He probably has lots of resources to work with. Must be nice. This is the control deck versus mid-range deck matchup. And again, this is where John normally kind of gets by. I mean, John has Liliana of the Veil. Is actually the big deal they have in this matchup. Culligan's Command is also good. Culligan's Command would be a great draw right now. Just get it to resolve. Let's discard these 2 bad cards. And then flashback Faithless Looting. Discard these 2 bad cards. Okay, it's going to wake up Colonnade again. If this lightning bolt resolves, I think we're actually not in the worst position. We're in a pretty bad position still. We're probably going to lose this game. But if the bolt resolves, I think we're in a reasonable position. Yeah. I consider waiting. Maybe flashing back souls, and then like... Yeah, I don't think we could have ever resolved. I figure basically if he has a counterspell, we're just never going to resolve the lightning bolt through anything, so it doesn't matter. Like, waiting doesn't do anything. So, we are more incentivized to just, like, jam. Okay, he's going to take me off white. That actually leaves me totally off white now. Luckily, I think the only white cards in the deck are... I only have 5, I believe. Okay, I accidentally clicked through my main phase, but that's okay. Just think we have 2 lands. Discarded all the lands. Spell Snare. Souls. Got a tap for black at some point there. Souls is such a good card in specifically some matchups. Cycle for farmland. I think our plan is to mill our opponents and hope that that is good enough. I'm gonna be honest, I'm actually really... I think our opponent is making a mistake by not attacking with Colonnade more aggressively. Like, what is he really scared of us drawing? I guess he doesn't know. I just think that he's like just messing this up totally. Like, he's given us way more turns than we need to draw cards out of this. Okay. Okay, snap Sphinx's Rev. Like, he doesn't really need to do any of these things. Got a bunch of stuff. I don't really care about the Ancestral Vision. Maybe I care about the Blessed Alliance. Maybe I care about the Path to Exile. So look at the Blessed Alliance. Yeah. He revs for 1 million. So he just doesn't appear to have the Gideons. We've been through, like, more than half his deck. We haven't seen any of them. His hand looks like this. Plays an island. Paths a token. I think I have basics. I do, I've got 1 mountain. Okay, now paths a token. Now he wakes up Celestial Colonnade. Okay. Especially if he has 2 paths, like... I guess he's worried about something like Liliana. But Liliana just dies to Colonnade, so... I don't really see the issue for him. Discards a vision. Well, we have Terminate. So... Last we looked, he didn't have a counterspell. Chances of that now are incredibly low, and he has 21 cards in his graveyard, so... Leak is pretty good. Not Leak. Logic Knot. Even though he can Logic Knot us for 1, 2, 3, 24. And I don't think I can pay 24 mana. But, hey ho. Gotta do what you gotta do. Sure. Okay, let's try game 2. Maybe we should have conceded earlier. It's probably reasonable. I didn't see any Gideons, which makes me feel weird about Pithing Needle. And Dreadbore, and just a whole bunch of stuff. I feel like there isn't much in the sideboard for this matchup, and it's possible that Blood Moon is good. Because while it didn't seem like it'd be that good there, because they have so many basics, at the same time a lot of their stuff is very intensive. And like, it's possible we just want a Blood Moon in. It didn't appear to have Spreading Seas. It did not appear to have Gideons. It must have Gideons in the sideboard, right? Something. I'm just not particularly interested in Lightning Helix or Forked Bolt. Like, I want to cut all these cards. Burst Lightning is reasonable because it can be reach. But these cards are just bad. So maybe we bring in the Blood Moons and the Pithing Needles? Pithing Needle seems incredibly narrow. Fatal Push doesn't seem much better. And nothing else seems good. So I guess bringing this in. I have to believe he has Gideons. And I feel like Pithing Needle is a better answer to them than lots of stuff. This hand seems good. Yeah, we can go Inquisition turn 1 into turn 2, Swiftsphere plus Thoughtseize. Turn 3, hopefully if we draw a land, Pyromancer plus Looting. Timely Reinforcements, Path to Exile. I kind of feel like our opponent... I'm actually interested in taking the Path. He also has Irrigated Farmland, Hallowed Fountain, Tectonic Edge. If we take the... both Timelies, our opponent is put in this position. We just never get the tokens. And the tokens are pretty good against us. Also where we have less clock than our opponent, which is kind of relevant in this kind of grindy, slow matchup. Path can kill our Swift Spear. This also renders our Swift Spear irrelevant, but this gives us a... Yeah, okay, I'll take the Timely. Opponent might be tempted to play a tap land, which would be pretty good for us. Okay, plays the colony that he drew for turn. Now we can Thoughtseize him. If we pay black mana. I feel like basically I'm not worried about the path. It takes the Swift Spear, and that's fine. And that the Timely blanks everything else we're doing. Oh man. Okay, he has 5 cards in hand, and these are the 5. Sure, he's at 18. Island. Blood Moon. Now that's interesting, if anything is. Cycles an Irrigated Farmland. So this does lock us off black. It looks like our opponent is white right now. Huh. I thought that rule changed. That's weird. Opponent concedes. Alright, Blood Moon seemed okay there. Opponent doesn't appear to have enough white mana sources to really go for it. Or enough basics to make it really bad. He's probably going to bring in some enchantment removal though, I would imagine. I still don't really feel like I want... maybe Lightning Helix is better than The Blood Moon, especially now he knows about it. I can't imagine Blood Moon being that good now that he like knows about its existence. So maybe Pithing Needle is just bad. Okay, we'll keep the Blood Moons, we'll drop the Pithing Needles, we'll bring back Lightning Helixes because at least they can target the face, and then we'll say go. So I guess he's treating us more like a burn deck. Maybe we are a burn deck in this matchup. I just feel like we play that game so poorly. Oh, baby. This is an interesting hand. I guess I'll keep. Not particularly aggressive. But... This is just wrong, actually. Who knows? We're gonna get the Blood Crypt. I'm gonna pick 5, turn 1. Thoughtseize our opponent. Opponent has opt, negate Cryptic Command. I think taking opts is a bad idea. We can take negate, and then later on we can go back in for the Cryptic Command. That seems like the strongest line we have. Albeit our opponent is likely going to fetch a basic island. Yeah, because he knows about Blood Moon, and opt. So there's one unknown. 2 unknowns. Oh dear. Keeps that looking incredibly bad. Sphinx's Revelation and Cryptic Command. Cryptic Command is much harder to cast for a Blood Moon, but we're like, at least, we're way too far away from casting that. Sphinx's Rev. It might be harder for us to beat than Cryptic. Like the Rev, I think. I feel like Cryptic, while quite hard for us to beat, it's not impossible, whereas Rev is basically impossible for us to beat. So yeah, put a card on top, put a card on the bottom. So we drew one card he wanted and one card he didn't know. Play the Colonnade, so it's 2 unknowns. Hey, second land. We have 9 points of burn, so we can put them to 10. And this is for this. 3 unknowns. Don't want to fetch yet. So, if we fetch a Sacred Foundry and Helix him, maybe Dreadball's just garbage. Man! We're gonna fetch a Sacred Foundry, because we just want to, now we want to play the Bedlam Mardu. We're gonna fetch a Sacred Foundry and Helix him. So theoretically, Blood Moon is actually bad for us if it resolves. But I need something that makes him spend his Cryptic Command, so I'm just going to play the Blood Moon. Because I don't think it's actually very good here, but I think he is highly incentivized to counter it. And while it lets him spend his mana efficiently, I also just like... I want the Cryptic Command gone, so I have a chance of actually resolving this Bedlam Reveler. Bedlam Reveler with Brainstorm is great. You get to put the Bedlam Reveler, use a Brainstorm, put one back, play the second one, play the first one, draw the second one. It's amazing. You get to start chaining them. 2 Bedlam Revelers in a hand is pretty bad. So we currently have 3, so this guy costs 5. We can play 2 spells this turn. And if we can make it Lightning Bolt and Terminate, then we can play a 3rd one and make him cost 2. Either way, we can make him cost 3. just going to cast a Bedlam Reveler. It's theoretically taking a mulligan. He's also incentivized to counter this, because he doesn't want us to draw 3 cards. He can assume that we think these cards are bad, I think, from the fact that we're willing to discard them. And I think they are bad. See, these cards are so much better. One of them's not a Bedlam Reveler, but one of them's a Lingering Souls. And the other one's a Lightning Bolt. These cards are great. And we might draw a Blood Moon at some point, and now we can fetch a basic Swamp. Sure. Or we can just get a basic Swamp off of the path. Okay, he is still... we're 1 turn away from the worst appearing. I've got the Sacred Foundry. He has 1 Tech Edge. I'm not really interested in playing that. So... Souls. Cliffs. Souls. Bad against Supreme Verdict-ish, but I think I just want to actually put a clock on him. Also, this 3rd Lightning Bolt is interesting. It's no longer interesting. Oh, Secure the Wastes. Okay, I guess this is his actual way of winning the game. This and this. He has way more tokens than I do. He's drawing a bunch of cards now. Ugh. Okay. So we're not blocking. Because we can't really. We can win if he has no removal spells. And I feel like we can't if he doesn't. Like, if we just let him untap, then swing with the Warriors again, and we start trading, and then... Basically, this is our window to win the game, I think, so... We're going to just try and win the game. If he has no removal spells... And also if he decides not to block with the Colonnades... I don't think this is a very good line. I think it's basically 0%, but, sure. This doesn't quite get there. Maybe we should have waited and blocked, I guess, because it is basically 0% if we swing with all of them. Maybe we leave 1 back. If we leave 1 back, he goes to 6. I don't know. I don't think we can win, basically. I just don't think we can actually win from there. Alright, let's throw that one off, and I'll see you for match 3.